Hello, good day. This is Franklin here. I hope you had a productive and a remarkable week. You did, right? Well, I'm really very glad to hear. And if the week wasn't, I'm really very sorry to hear. I hope that at least you have a fantastic weekend. And next week, hopefully, will be better. Yeah? Great. So in previous videos, I shared on how important it is that we set goals if we really want to make our dreams happen, become to fruition. I also touched on some of the reasons why we may not be setting goals, especially for the big, audacious dreams that we have for ourselves. And so I guess the next question would then be, how then do we set goals? Well, really very glad to answer that or to talk about that, because goal setting is one topic that I'm so much in love with. So back at the university, I had the privilege and opportunity to work with students and to help them get clarity on what they really wanted, as well as helping them to create goals and then coming up with plans to help with achieving the set goals. And that's something I did for about 3.5 years, and it was always very delightful each time, like this student, this individuals, they would come back to me and share the progress they were making and also their successes. It was really very amazing and awesome, because it wasn't just a win for them, it was a win for me, seeing how they were able to apply goal setting technique that I shared with them in making their dreams and their goals come to fruition as well. So in this video, I will be sharing the same goal setting technique, and this is something that I have been applying for a very long time, and like I mentioned, introduced to this the student I was working with back then at the university, and it's really been very helpful in producing massive results. And I'm hoping that in applying it to your life, that you would see the same results as well. So I just believe so strongly that in order for our goals to be effective, they need to be smart. And the word SMART is an acronym, and this is what it stands for. So the S there is specific, which in most cases means attaching a number to the goal, right? Specific. So the M is measurable, which basically is important because we want to be able to tell how far or near you are from hitting the goal. And obviously it helps when it's very specific, because if it's specific, you're able to tell how far you are from hitting the goal. And like they say, what you cannot measure does not exist, and what you cannot measure, you cannot manage. So M is measurable. The A is achievable, which basically just means that this goal, asking the question, is this goal possible? Are you able to make this goal happen? And one very quick way to tell whether or not a goal is possible or achievable is to look around and to see if there's anybody who has made it happen before. And if they can do it, then definitely you can do it as well. And even if nobody has done it before, it may just mean that you could be the trailblazer, so long as you believe that the goal is possible. Because if you believe it's possible, definitely you would be able to commit to it. But if you don't believe it's possible, you're most likely not going to commit to the goal. So that's A, achievable. R is realistic, which in other words just asks the question, is this realistic, right? And given the time period that I have set to make this goal happen, I'm actually able to do it. Is it possible within this time period that I have allotted for myself, right? So that's just it, being realistic, because I just believe so strongly that any goal is possible, but within the period of time that we set to achieve the goal, it may or may not be possible. So having to ask the question about whether or not the goal is realistic is really very key. So that's R for realistic, and T is for time bound. In other words, by when do you want to achieve this goal? That helps a lot, because you can tell when you have a deadline, you're able to develop this sense of urgency, to raise your level of efforts to make it happen by a particular deadline. There's a very popular saying, maybe not popular, but there's a saying that there's no such thing as an impossible goal, there's only an impossible deadline. So deadlines are always very helpful. So that's what the SMART stands for. And so how about we just apply this SMART goal technique to a particular desire. So I picked the desire most people have, which is to lose weight, right? So maybe you're watching them. I'm sure that may have been a desire of yours at some point. But just come and think about it, saying I want to lose weight is really very vague, and it's really very difficult to even tell what that means. So if we were to apply the goal setting technique, this is what it's going to look like. That's to this goal of losing weight, right? So the S is specific. So instead of just saying I want to lose weight, someone can say, or the person who set the goal can be like, I want to lose 10 pounds. Well, that's really very good, because now you've told your brain that, okay, 10 pounds is the target, right? And it's really very easy to see how possible this can happen. 10 pounds is the target. So that's really very specific, setting it 10 pounds. So saying I want to lose 10 pounds of weight, specific. So we'll check the S. Moving on to the next is M, measurable. How can you tell whether or not you have lost 10 pounds? Obviously, if you have a scale, you can tell, okay, have I lost 10 pounds, or how much weight have I lost, and how close or how far am I to losing 10 pounds. So obviously, because you can measure it, you can manage it, and you know what to do to increase the intensity, so you can get closer to achieving the goal. So M, measurable, you can give that a check mark, right? So the A is achievable. So is it possible that you can lose, that this person can lose 10 pounds? I just want to believe so, because I'm sure if you go online on YouTube and Google, you're probably going to see videos of people who have lost even way more than 10 pounds within a very short period of time. And so definitely, if they can do it, then this person can lose the 10 pounds, right? If that were the goal you set for yourself, for example. So this person definitely can lose the 10 pounds. So yes, we know it's achievable. And so the person setting the goal just has to believe that, yes, I can lose 10 pounds, right? So that being said, we can give the check mark on the A. So we'll move on to R. Is this realistic? Well, again, for us to determine whether or not it's realistic, we will need to give a duration of time by which this goal needs to be achieved, right? So losing 10 pounds in, say, 1 day or 2 days may not be realistic, because obviously it took this person perhaps weeks or months to gain the 10 pounds. So trying to lose that 10 pounds, shed 10 pounds in just 1 day or 2 days may be quite a hard nut to crack. So I think it may not be realistic saying it that way. But if we were to say, okay, lose 10 pounds in, say, a month or 2 months or 3 months, well, that's way more realistic than saying 1 day or 2 days. So we'll just stick to, okay, lose 10 pounds in 3 months. Let's just say 3 months, right? To be very, very graceful for this person. So lose 10 pounds in 3 months. I think that's very, very realistic, right? You probably would agree with me on that. So that said, we can give the check mark on the R. And then moving on to the last is the T, time bound. So what's the deadline? So the time by which we want to make this goal happen. So let's say in 4 months, to lose 10 pounds in 4 months. So this is November. So November, December, January, February. So let's say by the end of February 2022. So this person wants to lose 10 pounds in 4 months, which I think it's very realistic, I believe. So that's the timeline, or that's the deadline by which this person wants to lose 10 pounds. So that's pretty much, the SMART technique being applied to a particular desire to make the goal very, very, very effective. And so again, the SMART, S is specific, M is measurable, A is achievable, R is realistic, and T is time bound. And just as I mentioned, this is something I've been applying to my goals, and it's been really very helpful in producing results for me. And one thing that I'll just say that is worth mentioning is the fact that we obviously cannot control the results that we get, but we can control the output. So in as much as we want to set goals around results, I think it's really very helpful that we set goals around the inputs. In other words, the action and activity we plan to do. So a very good one, going back to this goal of losing 10 pounds within 4 months, for example. So the person setting this goal shouldn't just focus so much on the result, but should focus on the inputs. Okay, so for example, how many days in a week do you want to work out, and for how long, right? What kind of food would you abstain from in order to make this goal a reality? And so focusing so much on the inputs as opposed to the output, I think is really very, very essential to making any goal happen. Right, so that's all I have for you in this video. And if you have any experiences with applying the SMART goal technique, I would definitely love to hear what you think about the technique as well. So thank you very much for watching, and this has been Franklin here. I hope you are able to put this into practice, and I'd definitely like to hear as well the outcome, for sure. And don't forget that you are worthy, you are more than enough, and that you are loved. And so go do something remarkably awesome. And thank you so much for watching again. God bless and peace.